Well, welcome to this thought for the day for the 9th of April, Maundy Thursday. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit, and it's going to be a very short one today, which many of you will probably appreciate. Um, just about finding the opportunity to develop spiritual practices in the everyday. Some of you know that I'm blessed by the fact that part of my existence as a priest means that I have an obligation to pray. Not that that's how I see it, but it's part of my priestly calling is to pray and to develop spiritual practices that sustain my ministry throughout each day. Some of you know that my primary spiritual practice is that of centering prayer, which is a silent, contemplative style of prayer, which surrenders over all the thoughts and things and that distract in order to, with the aim to find myself in God's presence and just to be in that presence, not to do, think, or say anything, just to be present with God. Obviously, that's easier said than done. It's not so simple as that, but and requires a lot of discipline and practice. And many of us don't necessarily, especially if we have young children, and so find it difficult to find those spaces within the day to have that sort of silence and presence. However, a couple of days ago, I talked about walking like a Franciscan. And how the Franciscans, especially in Shakespeare's day, because it's quoted in Shakespeare, would walk in a meditative way, in a way that slowed things down and noticed where they were, and they were present in the environment they found themselves in, whether that be in the conversation with someone, or helping the poor, or nursing someone who's sick. A bit like Brother Lawrence in his writings about finding the presence, being in the presence of God in the mundane things of this world. And one of the challenges I offer to you is that I don't know if you're like me, but obviously I've been doing a fair bit of shopping, not just for myself, but for many other people as well. And shopping has taken on a new form. You stand in line outside the shop. You're 2 meters apart. Often the shops have conveniently placed tape markers at the right appropriate distance. And they operate a policy of only so many people in the store at one time. And if there are too many in there, if there is the requisite number in there at the time, you have to wait. And I've learnt to make my waiting, because I've been doing a lot of waiting, and sometimes you can be waiting for a good half hour in some shops, depending on where you are and what time of day you go, or even longer, perhaps. But you can use that as a means of meditation, of learning to actually make the slowing down in your shopping, the fact that you have to wait outside in the line before you enter the shop, which calms you down, which slows you down the whole process. And then once you're in the shop and once you've gathered your shopping, often the waiting at the tills as others ahead of you are doing the shopping, and you have to again wait the requisite 2 meters apart. And perhaps it's an opportunity for us to develop that practice as a meditation, as a way of being fully present in that moment, to notice the people before you and after you, to demonstrate the practice of patience and learning to slow down, to be mindful about it, to consider the needs of others before our own, and to be generous and gracious with each other. So there's just a thought. If you are struggling to find a particular prayer practice or something that fits these times, I suggest that one to you. Use those times when you are out shopping and you are faced with these lines and these waits and all those things as a moment with which to be mindful of God's presence there at that moment. God's presence in the people before you and after you in the line, the people around you, and just in the simple act of shopping, that you can find a moment of meditative practice and slow yourself down and be fully present in that time. All the best.